freelance writer who normally covers a men's tour, but since Becker is out with an injury this week, he's down here. Konzak is quoted as saying that this will be, the winner of this match going on will be the #1 story in all the papers, probably the top story after Libya. So let's start paying attention to what we're doing here.
Let's take a look at Steffi Graf. She appears to have had some kind of a problem either with her right
on
leg.
This shot, yes. I think she certainly stressed her right leg a bit on that. It's so strange to see her in an awkward position because she has lovely natural balance, but I think she's okay. All the players were complaining that there was entirely too much dressing, top dressing on this clay court earlier in the week, but I think they solved that problem. There might be a little too much still back beyond the baseline.
15:30.
There's an estimated 1.6 million West Germans who play tennis at private clubs. And Connie Konzak says there are 10 million more who want to play now, and there's just no room. There are not enough clubs since Becker Mania hit that country.
.30 all.
Sports is a very big deal in Germany. The way that Konzak rated it, he said soccer is still #1, but after that it's Becker at 2, the girls, these two girls at 3, and Bernhard Langer, the golfer, comes in at #4 in sporting popularity.
On the line.
Very nice, patient, and yet at the same time aggressive play by Kohde-Kilsch. She didn't go for too big a shot at any one point in that rally, and finally was able to win it from the net.
40-30, game point for Kohde-Kilsch.
Game Kohde-Kilsch.
Claudia holds to 3-1. She seems a lot more passive while receiving serve rather than when she is serving. In the course of points, Claudia seems to force the issue a little bit more when she is serving. I wonder if that tendency is going to keep up in this game.
Very nicely done. And Jack, I agree with what you're saying. I think the Kohde-Kilsch, it seems as though she hits conservative returns of serve. I think that just shows you, because she plays so much double, she knows to get a high percentage of returns back. And once the point begins, as you can see right there, she works her way into a nice aggressive stance.
Second serve.
15 all.
Kohde-Kilsch complains sometimes that a Becker doubles win can get a lot more coverage than when the West Germans girls do well in singles.
30-15.
That could start changing. These two here are 2 West German players in the top 5 in the world.
Off the frame and short, 40-15.
I think it actually skidded off the line, which is what she just kicked the line. I've never really seen that change anything.
Steffi Graf holds serve, but still Claudia Kohde-Kilsch is up a break. We're in the first set of the Sunkist WTA final. Live on ESPN, the road to the Stanley Cup. Here's Claudia Kohde-Kilsch to serve.
Love 15.
Graf has stepped back a little bit, Jack. I think, and that's why she was able to get that return low to Claudia's feet. She just took a few steps back now. And I guess she figures she's just going to slice it down to Claudia. So she's got to hit that first volley up and over the net instead of down into the court.
Love 30.
First double fault of the match for Kohde-Kilsch, and an opening for Graf at love 30, and Steffi needs a break to come back even in this first set.
Way back beyond the baseline is Graf. Terrific shots. Really nice. Graf had so little time to play this very firm volley of Kohde-Kilsch, so she shortened her swing, really abbreviated it, and just scooted it right down the line. Lovely.
2 chances to break for Graf at 15-40. One saved, 30-40.
30-40.
Key point here for both players. Kohde-Kilsch would love to hold and go up another break, 4-2, instead of tying it at 3.
Claudia is wide, and we are tied. 3 games all. Steffi Graf not off to her best start, certainly. She doesn't seem to be totally in sync, but maybe this is what she needs to get herself charged up. She had the nice backhand passer in that game in the course of breaking Claudia, and now she serves all even in the first set of a best of 3.
Well, it was a bad break for Claudia. Once again, Graf found the line on the shot. The ball behaves so badly when that happens.
$30.
Second serve return in, but she pays for it. 40-15. Graf with another passer.
40-15.
And again, Claudia just not quick enough about the net. She should have been covering that line, because Graf's been going there.
Claudia Kohde-Kilsch nets the forehand volley, and Graf holds. Steffi's on top for the first time today, 4-3 in the first set. We're on serve. Welcome back to Amelia Island Plantation in Greater Jacksonville, Florida, where there's been a bit of a debate going on today and a couple of press conferences held. Bob Eriks, the president of Capital Sports, who has put together this fine tournament and has sponsored it, has asked for $85,000 in restitution from the Women's Tennis Association. And Merritt Stierheim, whom you see there, has agreed to pay $15,000, but he would not comment further when pressed on the issue by Mary Carrillo. And there is some doubt as to the future status of the WTA championships. We'll get into that a little bit more as we continue.
I should say I want to correct that statement you made, Jack, because Merritt is automatically paying the $15,000 fine that the WTA must pay because it lost a couple of its seeded players in the last hours of this championships. Not Martina and Chris, who never agreed to play this tournament, but Hanna Malikova and Carlene Bassett, who both were forced to pull out. Carlene because her father's not feeling well at all, and Hanna because of a shoulder injury. It's a very complicated issue. My biggest hope is that we keep coming back to Amelia Island forever and ever for the WTA championships. But many feel that it is an overnamed tournament this year because the WTA champions, the two biggest, Chris and Martina, are not injured, did not come.
On the other hand, you can't really get into a woulda, shoulda, coulda situation with these two players because Graf beat Chris Evert-Lloyd in their most recent meeting, and Claudia Kohde-Kilsch has been erasing everybody she's been facing at this tournament. So
Kohde-Kilsch has a couple of big wins over Martina.
Who is to say that they wouldn't have won it anyway? It's really irrelevant. Claudia Kohde-Kilsch holding serve to 4-all. We are on serve in the first set.
Claudia's first game, her first service game, was so clean, and then she's been struggling ever since. That last one must be a breath of fresh air to her to come through like that.
Wide.
Out.
30-15. What has this young woman, Steffi Graf, been doing to turn things around, Mary?
Tell you, Jack, she's been doing what she does every time she goes out and play. You know, because she is so aggressive by nature, she does make a lot of unforced errors. But she has such an aggressive stance that very often her opponents, Claudia in this case, aren't in good enough court position to really become aggressive themselves. So though she does make errors, Claudia hasn't been able to really come through and force the issue herself, and that's what she's got to do.
$40-30. Well, there's the forehand of which we have spoken in the semis and now in the finals. Steffi Graf holds serve. She leads 5-4 in the first set at Amelia Island. Look at Peter Graf, Steffi Graf's father, who sometimes gets a little bit involved in his spectating activities.
Peter Peekaboo Graf. It's hard to find him in the stands because he moves around an awful lot. He's escaping from Lee Jackson, the WTA Tour referee. He tries to escape from our cameras, but we train one on him to follow him around. He's been known to coach, as has Olaf Merkel, the coach of Claudia Kohde-Kilsch today. And Claudia Kohde-Kilsch's stepfather also gets into the act quite a bit. But Mr. Graf cornered me yesterday and said, now look, that's not coaching. He says, it's impossible to coach from the stands. None of us coach. So I said, well, what is it there? And he explained that it's support. It's support. It's not coaching. Lee Jackson doesn't buy that one, by the way.
Another double fault for Kohde-Kilsch, 15 all. And here's a chance for Steffi Graf at 5-4 Graf. She's only 3 points away from the set. And Kohde-Kilsch obviously upset. And after the great success she has enjoyed in her last 2 matches, she is really up against it here.
She's not letting it swing. She really isn't, Jack. She normally hits a lot harder.
Well, it's keeping her from hitting hard.
You know, everything. It's a very big match. It's a huge deal. This Kohde-Kilsch Graf rivalry is bigger than Americans would know. They are the 2 best players in Germany.
30 all. Another pressure point here for Claudia Kohde-Kilsch. Steffi Graf appears to have found her game here late in the first set.
We've just been informed by Lee Jackson that Claudia Kohde-Kilsch has asked for the trainer to come down on the court on the next changeover to do something to loosen up her shoulder. So perhaps that also explains why she's not hitting as hard as she normally does.
Claudia just missed the volley. And it's set point at 30-40.
And really, there was no reason to miss this. Sure, it had a lot of pace on it, but Claudia was ready to spank that away for a winner. And look how disappointed she is.
After being in control early, Claudia Kohde-Kilsch in trouble here. There's a sigh of relief. 1 set and break point saved. Deuce. The error on the forehand leaves Graf with another opportunity to close out the set. For the first time all week, Claudia Kohde-Kilsch has lost a set. She is broken in the 10th game of the first, and Steffi Graf takes the opening set, 6-4.
And it was really a couple of duddy forehands in this last game that lost the game and the set for Kohde-Kilsch. Just too tentative.
Out. 15 love.
Despite the error which opens the second set, this would seem to make Graf more dangerous. Give a free swinger like her a little bit of confidence and you can give yourself a tough chance. That ball hit the service line. No chance for Kohde-Kilsch. 15 all.
Correction, 15 all.
Claudia can use a few breaks like that.
She really can, Jack. She's had a couple of skiddy plays off the tape that she wasn't able to do anything about. So it seems only fair that she should get a lucky leg cord.
Back line. Claudia Kohde-Kilsch has worked herself into attacking position now at 15-40. She has 2 chances to break to open the second set.
She's still only at about the 50% mark with success at the net, but it's something she must keep doing against Steffi.
Just a miss hit. Claudia Kohde-Kilsch unfazed by losing the first set, comes back and breaks to open the second. It is 1-love Kohde-Kilsch after Graf took the first. There's Claudia Kohde-Kilsch, who took a little bit of therapy between games here on the changeover.
Cynthia Fermani, the trainer, is trying to treat spasms of the deltoids. That's the official word we've gotten. So she ointmented it a little bit. Another medical term you're not familiar with.
Double fault. Third of the match.
This is interesting, Jack, because at the Virginia Slims Championships, when Martina just barbecued Steffi Graf, Graf came back afterwards and said, I've got to work on playing against a serve and volleyer. She says, I've got to work on my return because Martina was slicing my topspin, which is just what Kohde-Kilsch was doing. She says, I can improve my serves and I can improve my backhand, and my lob also is not too good. That's what she said. But I think a net player, like Martina, like Kohde-Kilsch and Hana, can really do that. They can really start getting to her. I just don't think a baseliner can in the same way.
40-15. Second time today Joyce Siegel has given the incorrect score. Volley sat up and
sure did. Steffi had it for lunch. So much time on this. It's a difficult shot, certainly, that Kohde-Kilsch tried to do, and it did not get the result she wanted at all.
Talk about Martina barbecuing someone. That's Steffi's rotisserie right there. Kohde-Kilsch holds and now leads 2-love in the second set, as she did in the first. Claudia fighting off the problem with the deltoid muscle in the right shoulder. We are live at Amelia Island Plantation in Florida. This is the 1986 Sunkist WTA Championship. Steffi Graf serving. She's down a break in the second set. Graf won the first set. I'm Jack Edwards along with Mary Carrillo, and we're happy to bring you this final live on ESPN. Unforced errors on the backhand have been the Achilles heel of Steffi Graf today.
And it's odd, Jack. I don't know why she goes for such a severe backhand slice. I guess maybe she's just trying to draw Kohde-Kilsch in. Normally, when your opponent is hanging that far back, look how far back Kohde-Kilsch is. She's way behind the baseline like that. You aim high over the net. There's no reason to flirt so close with the net.
15-30.
Claudia going for it down the line unsuccessfully, 15-30. Perhaps is there something in the back of Steffi's mind that if she leaves the ball up, a net player as good as Kohde-Kilsch could take advantage?
Maybe that's her concern.
Super cross-court backhand to set it up. And another opportunity to break. This would put Kohde-Kilsch up 2 breaks. It's 15-40. And the pendulum swings back. And the momentum is now on Claudia Kohde-Kilsch's side. After dropping the first set, she has rolled off 3 games in a row and leads 3-love in the second. Who is sitting in the grandstands to the left of our broadcast location. There you see him, has been warned by chair umpire Joyce Siegel for coaching in the course of the match.
Take your seat, please, quickly.
Code violation called on Peter Peekaboo Graf, as he's become known in this tournament. He says he's just supporting her, but I was watching him as Joyce called him on it, and he made some amazing, a little flurry of the fingers trying to tell Steffi, it seemed, to come in, to move harder and to come towards the net more. That's how I read it. You know, it's never gone beyond the warning stage, Jack, at least not in women's tennis. In men's tennis, Boris Becker, another West German, has been getting fined lately for getting coached by Günter Bosch. Boris Becker thinks it's a stupid rule that you're not allowed to get coached during a match. And at this tournament, it's La Quinta, who's playing against Jose Higueras. Mats Wielander, the ATP vice president at that tournament, said, no, I think it is a very good rule. I'm just going to check I've got my rule book with me. Let me check that.
all. Kohde-Kilsch up 2 breaks.
The WTA Code of Conduct has special regulations for point penalties. If Peter Graf is caught coaching again Graf Jr., Steffi, will lose a point, then a game, and then she's subject to default after that. We have those point penalty rules in the women's game for obscenity, profanity, abuse of racket, abuse of official, prolonging an argument, time violation, or tanking. And it's also for coaching.
Just wide.
Not according to Steffi.
She's going to get an argument. Let's listen in.
Ball was good. Ball was good.
Now that is such a clean winner that I can't imagine that there'll be a replay on this point, because look at this. That's a cold winner. And in fact, there is no replay, because that ball was dead.
2 break opportunities here. One save, 30-40. Deep on the backhand, and now Claudia Kohde-Kilsch is motioning to her right buttocks, thigh area.
She's falling apart. Her body is breaking down on her in this match, Jack.
You can see her testing that flex to the right side. This is a pattern, unfortunately, for Claudia Kohde-Kilsch, which must be rather agonizing to her. She's gone out in front each of the first 2 sets and has been broken. And in the first set, Graf was able to turn the entire set around.
Nicely done by Claudia, but Jack, even more than that, by nature, Claudia is a very kind of uptight and tense player. She puts an awful lot of pressure on herself, and I gotta think that physically that starts getting to her body as well.
Well, in Western thought, we so often separate mind and body. I'm not really so sure they are so separate. Deep on the backhand by Kohde-Kilsch. Steffi Graf can feel the surge of momentum come back in her direction. Oh! 30-40, and This is a very big point for Claudia Kohde-Kilsch, a chance to reverse the momentum, which appears, for the moment at least, to have swung back toward Graf. Unforced error, this time on the forehand side. Claudia Kohde-Kilsch answers a break with a break, and once again goes up 2 breaks in the second set. Graf won the set 6-4. We'll return to the Amelia Island Plantation right after. Steffi Graf, when she's hot, she's hot. When she's not, duck, because the ball may be going anywhere, but not too often in the court. And Steffi's been hot and cold today, and it's now 4-1. Kohde-Kilsch in the second set. Claudia to serve. She's up 2 breaks.
Steffi was down even worse than that just a week ago today against no less than Chris Evert-Lloyd, and she came back to win the set, to win the match in straight sets. She'll be hard-pressed to do it today. She's not playing that kind of tennis that she displayed against Chris. She kept it real clean. And with that last game won by Kohde-Kilsch, that's a real gateway to the second set. With Kohde-Kilsch serving, I'd be real surprised if this went 2 sets instead of 3.
15-all.
Claudia got caught in between a little bit.
Oh, she was a little lucky on that because it was badly mishit. It still stayed in the court.
30-15.
You can see here, this thing should have bounced and swung into our booth, but it was mishit. Still, it had enough control to stay in the court.
30-15. Driving forehands dictating the pace. 30-all.
30-all.
Claudia really wants to pump in a biggie right here, Jack. Very nearly did it, too.
Dueling net cords, and Kohde-Kilsch wins that little battle. 40-30.
Claudia got a better break on her let cord than Graf got on the following let cord. Hers sat up a little bit. Gave her some room to zoom.
This point to go up 5-1 second set. Done. 5-1. Claudia Kohde-Kilsch. Let's take a look at our CompuTennis statistics.
All right, now this is the average that these two players force the points to win. And as you can see, they're pretty much right on the button today. They're playing very much to form.
15-all. Steffi went for a little extra, and I believe she thought the return was wide, but
no, I don't think so.
Second glance,
I think, Jack, she's just aggravated that it skidded off the tape. And we've seen so many skids off the tape today. I am convinced that Claudia Kohde-Kilsch hits the tape more than any other player I've ever seen. I'm not kidding. Perhaps she just goes for the line more than everyone else. Graf's been finding the lines too, though, today.
You can get one forehand back, but not two.
And this really is what Steffi does so well. She seizes the moment on those short balls.
Claudia dropping the racket in disgust. Neither player feeling that they're at the top of their game from their body language. 40-30. Steffi Graf holds serve to 2-5. Still Claudia Kohde-Kilsch is ahead by 2 breaks. Here's a look at Steffi Graf. Forehand volley for the put away. Still, she trails in the second set at Amelia Island.
How do you get this kind of taste in a diet?
As Claudia Kohde-Kilsch comes back onto the court, she will be serving for the second set to even it up and send it to 1 set to decide it all. Sun-kissed WTA championship for 1986. Graf's return right in the corner, love 15.
You gotta get his name and then have the cutest boy of all time.
Second serve.
Graf really didn't stay with that point mentally, did she? That was a very lovely, deep approach by Kohde-Kilsch, and Graf didn't seem to pick up on it at all. It's a distracted second set she's played.
Backhand chop works again. You spoke with Steffi yesterday, Marion. She talked about how hard it was to stay emotionally peaked for such a long time.
She said, I never knew. And she said, I've always thought about winning my first title. But she said, the thought of coming back right the next day and starting off in the first round again. And that's a very foreign feeling to Graf. That was her first major title last week, the Family Circle Cup. It's a real different feeling to go a whole week without losing. Now she's trying to do it 2 times in a row. It's a real important education for Graf. Jack, just that, as a matter of fact. She is, you know, to my mind, the next #1 after Chris and Martina. And she's getting such a fine education this spring and what it will be like if she ever does become number one, playing week in and week out, with all the responsibilities that number one, number two entails. It's a real different ride. John McEnroe could not believe how different it was going from number two in the world to number one. He said it was mind-boggling. It was great being number two behind Bill. It was great, you know, always a challenger. Then you get there and you got all these young kids, you know, yapping at your heels.
At 30 all, the netted forehand, and Graf has the opportunity to get one of the two breaks back, maybe trying to pull a page out of Kathy Rinaldi's book. Rinaldi was down 5-3 second set to Graf, won 4 in a row to force a third.
It's a pity that Claudia is putting together this kind of service game up 5-2. She should be swinging from her heels in this game.
Go to deuce. Neither player at the top of their form, and perhaps that has a lot more to do with the pressure which is felt on the other side of the Atlantic than it does with what is actually in the minds of many of these American spectators watching a match between two West German women. Double fault to go to break point. That's number 4. Steffi has one of the breaks back.
Very interesting game, illuminating to me watching, Jeff, because something has crystallized in my mind, at least, something that Steffi has gotten over that Claudia Kohde-Kilsch has not yet really arrived at. The idea that, give me the ball, I want it. Kohde-Kilsch doesn't want it. She hasn't arrived at that mental peak that Steffi has, where when the pressure's on, Steffi wants to see that fuzz come over the net. And Claudia, I think, is still more in the vein of, oh, let's have a double fault right here. Please, I could really use this double fault. And then I'll kind of slide it back, and then I'll think of something else, and maybe I'll win this set. That's such a big difference.
Kohde-Kilsch outwardly emotional now. 15 love. Graf with life.
love.
30 love and Claudia just not looking good.
Look at Steffi. All business. Here we go, 30 love. A few more games and I've got her.
40 love.
They're only 2 spots away from one another on the WTA computer. 5 and 3. The server at 3. There's a lot more between them, to my mind right now, mentally.
The unforced errors as Claudia Kohde-Kilsch begins to unravel. Suddenly it is close, 5 games to 4 in the second set. There they are, 2 of the ball boys that have served so well all week long, and the one on the right is Britton Burrows. 9 years old and about net high.
A little under the net, actually. Absolutely the cutest ball boy of all time.
5 games to 4. Claudia Kohde-Kilsch chance to serve out the second set. Really needs it. Love 15. And the crowd comes to life for
Look how resolutely she walks around, you know, Graf. She's just pumped now. Her legs move like pistons in situations like this. And Kohde-Kilsch is sort of lumbering around there. Thinking, how did I let this go away from me?
Ball. Out.
15 all.
Thirty
30-15, and we are 2 points away from going to a third set. This is the game which will probably determine Kohde-Kilsch's confidence for the remainder of the day. So much caution in her ground stroking.
That's so, particularly on that forehand side, you can see her pull up off the shot, you know, trying to guide it in the court, and of course that doesn't work at all. It floats when that when you try to do that.
Baseball, they say, don't aim it, pitch it. Claudia had the line, elected to go to the safe shot, and now it is 30-40. A monumental break opportunity coming.
Really is. Watch how she handles this lob. No hesitation at all.
Steffi Graf taking her time, dictating the pace. Kohde-Kilsch was ready to serve. Break point. From 2-5 down, Steffi Graf has charged back to 5-all. Mary Carrillo, yesterday you said, what an education this is. What an opportunity this is for Steffi Graf to learn as she was blowing the second set against Kathy Rinaldi. Well, 24 hours later,
she's a quick learner.
She comes back, and from a 2-5 deficit, she's all even, and you'd have to think right now with the momentum going the way it is, she's going to close this thing out in 2 sets. Does Kohde-Kilsch show a weakness when she shows the outward emotion like that? Does Graf realize that she's gotten?
Oh, you know, you just look at her. She looks like a puppy who's just been hit on the nose with a newspaper by her master. You know, like, get down, which is just what Graf has been doing to her. She's telling her to get down. You know, this child, she gets off the sidewalk for nobody. Great recovery.
A battle of nerves, a battle of athleticism, and Steffi Graf comes out on top, 15 all.
Very tough point. Excellent movement by Steffi Graf. And she is such a natural mover, which Claudia Kohde-Kilsch isn't. That last shot that Kohde-Kilsch netted seemed a very weary one to me. She was exhausted at the end of that. And as you can see, she's taking her time along the baseline before setting up to return serve.
Ball.
15-30. You cannot underline enough the importance of this opportunity for Claudia Kohde-Kilsch to go 15-40. She does. 2 chances to break and to go up 6-5 and earn a reprieve, and yet another chance to serve out the second set.
Net. Net. First serve. Net. First serve.
Claudia Kohde-Kilsch, who had all the momentum going against her, has found some of her own to answer, and now she leads 6-5. We'll be back to wrap up the second set, either by Kohde-Kilsch holding serve or by a tiebreaker when we return, as you look at Claudia Kohde-Kilsch just trying to stay in it. Claudia Kohde-Kilsch has been through the emotional ringer today. Up, down, and down. And as you see, this is her 3rd chance to close out the second set. And if she doesn't do it here, we go to a tiebreaker. And based on what we've seen of nerves, the young woman you just saw, Steffi Graf, would have to be considered a favorite there.
Out. 15 love.
15 love, 3 points away.
I'll tell you what, if Claudia fails to win this second set, Jack, we're going to have to be talking her off the ledge tonight, because she's going to be feeling so rotten.
I said to you off camera during the break, Mary, that it appeared Kohde-Kilsch was playing it so safely, but she charged on that point, and now she's 2 points away from the second set, 30 love. All. And after jumping out ahead, Claudia Kohde-Kilsch is talking to herself.
She's also looking over to her father, Jürgen, and her coach, Olaf Merkel, who are sitting just to the right of her serving right now. 14 unforced errors off that Kohde-Kilsch forehand. We've seen how expensive those errors have been in the last few games.
40-30 to set point. Also, CompuTennis statistics tell us Kohde-Kilsch has 0 forehand winners.
That's a surprise. That's a surprising statistic. She
Set
usually
point.
scores off that.
Not playing it safely there, and Claudia Kohde-Kilsch exalts. And she has sent this to a third and final set, the sun-kissed WTA Championship for 1986. Claudia Kohde-Kilsch against Steffi Graf, and it is 1 set for the championship. 7 games to 5. Kohde-Kilsch taking the second set. Steffi Graf serves to open. Well, each of the first 2 sets began with breaks of serve. Graf opening the set. Kohde-Kilsch breaking her. Second serve here at 15-30. Another unforced error on the forehand by Graf. 2 chances to break. Claudia Kohde-Kilsch to open the third and final set. Break point save, deuce.
Hit.
I keep talking about momentum in this match. I'm just wondering if there is any.
I really wouldn't call it momentum, Jack, that we're seeing. You know, I think we've seen Kohde-Kilsch tremble, certainly, especially in the latter part of that second set. And Graf is still hitting a lot of errors. So neither player is playing cleanly.
Kohde-Kilsch breaks to open the third set, as she did to open the first 2. We'll return to the sun-kissed WTA Championships at Amelia Island right after this. The woman on the left with the walkie-talkie is Lee Jackson, who has been Lee Jackson private eye today. She has really had her hands full.
Joe Friday.
Well, with both sides trying to coach.
This court, this center court, has become a police state for Lee Jackson. There's Olaf Merkel in the white shirt with the sunglasses, and right above him is Claudia's stepfather. These two have been carrying on meaningful dialogues with Claudia, as has Peter Graf from way up above on this day. All kinds of coaching going on.
Lee Jackson, perhaps out of exasperation, is going to suggest that they allow coaching because it's impossible to enforce the rules that she's being asked to enforce. Double fault by Kohde-Kilsch in her first service point of this, the deciding set.
It's a pity that that Lee has arrived at that conclusion, to my mind, the idea that if you can't enforce it, endorse it. But it is, it's these guys, you know, I mean, pretty soon we're going to be seeing overhead projectors out there. These coaches showing to their players, just getting out of hand.
15 all.
Olaf Merkel and Jürgen Kohde-Kilsch have not been seen, although Lee Jackson is trying very hard to catch them in the act of coaching.
Now, 15-30.
15-30.
It's really become a flying forehand that used by Kohde-Kilsch. If I were Steffi, I'd really stick it to her and just keep going to that wing, because she's obviously lost her confidence in that department.
30 all.
30 all. Having a big serve can really help. .30.
Graf did go to that floundering forehand. At this point in time, Steffi would do well, as I say, to go there, because it's built on swampland right now. Forehand error number 20, called wide.
Kohde-Kilsch takes a look, but the mark is clearly out, and a chance for Steffi Graf to break back her advantage. Second game of the final set. Kohde-Kilsch drills herself on the forehead with her with the back of her hand, and
well, again, you know, she prayed for it to go out. It was really badly played by Kohde-Kilsch. She tried to hope it out, and hope, as we know, is an immature emotion.
Ow! 15 love.
I cannot believe that Kohde-Kilsch hasn't been called for racket abuse yet today. She's been nailing that thing on the turf every time she's been missing. It's a judgment call, though. Obviously, the woman in the chair doesn't feel like it's really bad abuse. It's just frustration.
Clean winner.
The numbers have changed a bit, as you can see, from the first and second sets. Both players up higher for first serve points won in the first. Obviously swinging a little freer. That second set got real dicey.
Ow! 30-15.
Well, if errors are litter, Amelia Island is becoming a landfill.
Ow! 40-30.
Forehand wide by Graf. We go to deuce. Oh, that had to be corrected. The ball was clearly in.
Replay the point, please.
Ball was a good inch inside the line. It wasn't even on the line.
Deuce for serve.
There's a good view of it on the replay. First service at deuce.
Advantage. Kohde-Kilsch.
And in the third game of the concluding set, we have an opportunity for the third break in the third set. A netted volley, and the breaks go on. It is 2-1, Kohde-Kilsch leading in the third and final set. This is the 1986 Sunkist WTA Championship. We'll be back to Amelia Island right after this message. Our copy tennis statistics on unforced errors, and there have been plenty of them, Mary Carrillo.
That's right. Now watch this, kids. This is the average for both these players. 20% for Graf, Kohde-Kilsch 17. That's pretty good. That's pretty normal. But today, they have broken their own records, certainly. A lot for Kohde-Kilsch, as you can see, 31%. And Graf is over and above her average.
Claudia Kohde-Kilsch serving up 2-1. I doubt when this match is over that either player will point to it and say, that was my finest hour.
Wow! Net! Second serve. Net! Second serve.
Just in. Second service again.
15 all.
In fairness to Claudia Kohde-Kilsch, she is not able to force the play as much as she wants because Graf's depth on her ground strokes is so good. Even when she's missing a deep angle or just long.
Up. 30-15.
Bullet. 30 all.
30 all.
Really nice shot that Graf flipped right by Kohde-Kilsch, who just wasn't in good enough net position. You know, she's even approaching the net with too much caution. She should be right on top of that net after a shot that good.
No time to be timid at 30 all here. Kohde-Kilsch up a break in the third.
Jack, Claudia is getting a much bigger battle from herself in this match than from Graf. And on any other day, if Graf were to play this way, or anybody for that matter, Kohde-Kilsch would be all over them. Graf isn't playing well enough to really worry Kohde-Kilsch. She's just worrying herself.
Claudia got to it but couldn't keep the ball in play, and she faces yet another break point at 30-40. I'm Jack Edwards along with Mary Carrillo. You're watching ESPN's live coverage of the Sunkist WTA Championships for 1986. We come your way from Amelia Island Plantation in Greater Jacksonville, Florida. Steffi Graf won the first set 6-4. Claudia Kohde-Kilsch suffered a crisis of confidence in the second set, but managed to hang on and take it 7-5. She's up a break, 2-1 in the third, but faces a break point here. Cross-court backhand, clean winner. Steffi Graf has broken again.
And it was
4 games,
so well,
4 breaks.
so well struck there. As you can see, Claudia couldn't even get her racket up. She couldn't even react to that shot because it was so beautifully struck by Graf.
Graf's points, as you look at Steffi, are coming more on winners, and Kohde-Kilsch's points are coming more on errors. And as Graf cuts down her error to the winner's rate, she's able to take the play away. 15 love here.
Love.
30 love. 40 love.
That was trouble right from the start.
40 love.
The backhand drop shot from Steffi wasn't all that good, but the reply from Kohde-Kilsch was even worse.
Fifteen.
40-15.
That's as aggressively as Claudia has played maybe all day long. 40-30.
Really is nicely done, and Claudia had to volley very well on that shot because she wasn't in great net position. She had to play it very delicately, and she did.
All the way back to deuce from 40 love. Now Steffi Graf fights the demons which have occupied the minds of both players. All service breaks in 4 games completed in this set.
Yeah.
Yes. Advantage Graf.
Advantage Graf.
Very good coverage by Graf because you can see how nicely played that backhand shot of Kohde-Kilsch's was.
The queen of the let cord, Claudia Kohde-Kilsch. She does get a lot of those as well as the lines.
No, I tell you, it's the truth. She hits such a flat, hard ball, Jack, but that would account for the let cords and how many lines she hits. There's so much thrust behind her ball, so straight. Look at that.
That's wide. Advantage Graf.
Still, it was hit boldly, which was nice to see. Got some MPH on that one.
Good.
Third time at deuce in this game. Driving the corners and charging the net, everything was just right until the backhand volley went long. Advantage Graf.
That was a German gag. And this really was bad news for Kohde-Kilsch. She was so perfectly set up for that shot.
time, back to deuce. Just for the sake of argument, what's the difference between a German gag and an American gag?
No, the all
after the
gags,
American
all
gag, you throw
gags
the
are
racket,
equal.
right?
No, really. There's.
All gags were created equal. They certainly were. At deuce.
On the line.
She's the queen, I keep telling you. Steffi Graf just has to ask herself, what
Is she living that much cleaner than I am?
Break point here in the 5th game. All 4 previous games in the set have been breaks of serve.
Net. Ball.
Game, and Claudia Kohde-Kilsch pumps the fist, and finally someone will get a chance to hold serve. Claudia Kohde-Kilsch up 3-2, all on breaks in the 3rd set.
3 games to 2.
Welcome back to Amelia Island Plantation in Greater Jacksonville, Florida, and it has been the battle of the breaks. 5 in a row, and Steffi Graf with 7. Claudia Kohde-Kilsch with 6, and there you see the way it stands right now. Kohde-Kilsch ahead, 3-2, trying to hold. That serve did catch the line, by the way. 15 love. Now it's getting ridiculous. Look at poor Steffi. Now it's getting ridiculous. Look at poor Steffi. And there's Peter.
Oh, you've got to smile, because this thing, you know, normally you get some kind of play off a lead cord.
2 bounces. The reaction tells it all. 30 love. 30-15. From 30 love to 30 all. Important point for Claudia.
Net. Ball.
30-20.
The let cord giveth, the let cord taketh away. 6th double fault, and this may shock you, but it's break point. Well, I feel a bit like the commentators at Wimbledon who are in the ultimate set and where there are no tiebreakers, and they say, well, eventually someone has to break serve. Eventually someone has to hold serve. 3 all, 6 games, 6 breaks of serve in the 3rd and final set. Here, though, that is not true. We could go straight to the tiebreak.
About 15.
Yep.
Steffi spread the court well, but Claudia got to it and found the opening down the line. Love 30.
About 30.
She really could have done more with this volley, though. And that she didn't cost her the point. She's got to get bolder. And as we've been saying all week long,
15,
she
30.
has been off form. It's no surprise that Graf isn't really swinging out the way she normally does.
Fifteen 42 chances for Claudia Kohde-Kilsch to break. This would make it 7 in a row.
30, 40.
30-40, one save. Deuce.
The fans are pulling for Claudia, and I think because we've all been in this exact same position. You know, they're just trying to say to her, come on, you can rock through it. You can do it. Just hit it.
Advantage Graf.
Advantage Graf.
It's been a long day for Claudia Kohde-Kilsch. She looks in the strings for the answers, finds none.
First serve. Game Graf.
Steffi Graf pulled serve, and that is the first hold of serve in the third and final set. This is the WTA Championship sponsored by Sunkist in Amelia Island Plantation, Florida. Claudia Kohde-Kilsch comes back out onto the court and tries to get her game going again. She has had moments. Points all even, 93 apiece of 186, 108. Decided by unforced errors in this match.
That's a little high.
About 15.
Make it 109 out of 187. Kohde-Kilsch long in the forehand. Love 15.
First serve. About 30.
That missed by a ton. Seventh double fault. Love 30. I think Claudia just wants to get it over with.
Ball.
Two double faults in a row.
Major
Court and
What a
another
cave
break.
in.
5-3 Graf serving for the championship now, and what utter self-destruction it has been for Claudia Kohde-Kilsch.
It's too bad that she self-incinerated, because as I said at the top of the show, Steffi isn't playing at nearly the form she showed to win last week against Chris Everett. Claudia has had her chances, but her opponent herself is just too much.
Not only is Kohde-Kilsch well off form, but Graf is a closer, and despite her difficulties, she knows she's 3 points from the championship, and she has a way of raising her game.
Ball.
Claudia Kohde-Kilsch, you wonder with the negative outlook she's had if she even hears that applause. $15.30.
Ball.
$15.40, double break point.
Ball.
$30.40. Kohde-Kilsch long again. Good depth on the ground strokes by Graf using the court. Deuce, and Steffi Graf is 2 points away. Of the 6 points played in this, game, 5 have been decided on errors. Championship points here for Steffi Graf. This young woman now 1 point away from winning 2 weeks in a row on the WTA Tour. There's Peter Graf. No signals needed here.
Ball.
Quiet, please. Thank you.
Gosh, she went for it, didn't she? It was a nice play, the chip in charge by Kohde-Kilsch.
Long. Advantage Kohde-Kilsch. Break point. Claudia will not say die. She breaks back, and she will serve to stay in the match. When we return, it is 5-4 Graf in the final set.
Graf leads 5 games to 4.
There's Steffi Graf, and she again has the opportunity to finish it off if she can break Claudia Kohde-Kilsch, something she has shown that she can do with great frequency 4 times already in this, the final set. New balls for Claudia Kohde-Kilsch, and that helps a little bit. She's fighting the game from within, not from without.
15 love.
I wonder if it's much harder that Steffi is playing a countrywoman in the final, Jack. You know, I know how hard it is to win 2 finals back-to-back, 2 weeks in a row. But still, is there that much more pressure on Steffi because she is playing the #2 woman in Germany just behind her? Bad luck for Kohde-Kilsch there. As I mentioned earlier, the court is getting funny bounces, not just off the tapes, but off the fact that there's so much top dressing on this court. She was unlucky there, because that's what happened to that last ball. Got caught in a little mound.
30-15.
2 missed forehands from Graf in this game. Graf said earlier, after her quarterfinal win, she said, I know I didn't play well, she said, but it's just so nice to win when you're not playing well.
Yep. Serve and volley, and 40-15, this to go 5-all.
Kohde-Kilsch is making it very tough on Graf to win.
Ball.
After some truly disappointing tennis, some really fine points as we now get down to it, and Claudia Kohde-Kilsch has held serve to go 5-all in the final set.
Really nice to see, particularly from Kohde-Kilsch, who hasn't been bold enough by any stretch of the imagination. And finally, in the final stages, she's coming through.
Well, this is what it comes down to. It's either hold and break or break and hold, or we go tiebreaker. 15. Steffi Graf has to concentrate on the present moment. She can't think back to the fact that she had a championship point and that it got away. The present works pretty well there.
That was that big forehand we've been used to seeing from Graf. Though not this week. You know, she wins a big title last week, and now she's got all kinds of brand new responsibility. She has to come in the very next week as a top seed. No wonder she's not swinging out so freely.
Fine play by Kohde-Kilsch. 15-30. Steffi says, I don't know how she got it.
Code violation, coaching, point penalty, Graf. 15-40.
And what a crucial point. And there's Peter Graf's reaction.
Signals.
He didn't say a verse.
He didn't say anything. He's giving signals.
What signals, please?
15-40. Flag.
Amazing point at which to call this code violation. Joyce Siegel. And here's Peter Graf coming down out of the grandstands. Let's pick up what we can hear on the court.
Flag.
Lee Jackson backing up Joyce Siegel. She's nodding her head, saying, yes, that is correct to call him on it. Just a few points ago, this is what we saw from Peter Graf. He claims he gives not signals, but just support. Now, I don't know how to interpret that. He didn't get away with it on that last point.
Double break point here. Chance for Kohde-Kilsch to come back and serve for the championship. Well, some nice camera work by our ESPN crew. It's pretty obvious what's going on. And whether or not he feels the rules are legitimate, Peter Graf must live by them. He was caught, penalized. Crucial point of the match. Still break point against Graf. Ball caught the line, it seemed, but the call is wide. Kohde-Kilsch to the net.
One step forward.
Call out.
Here, look at the ball.
Game Kohde-Kilsch.
Graf appealing on the line call.
Kohde-Kilsch is already seated. Peter Graf wants to take a better look. The call sticks.
The call stands.
What a match
Joyce
this has
Siegel, the chair umpire,
Jim, give
barely
it dad.
in
Jim,
control
give it dad.
here.
Dad.
And it is a service break for Claudia Kohde-Kilsch. What a bizarre turn of events this is, and we're going to stay right here. Peter Graf making his way down toward the umpire's chair. Let's see if we can pick something up.
Actually, I think that Joyce is in very good control. I think she's done everything very well, Jack, under extenuating circumstances. She's kept her cool.
Red sweater.
Let's try to listen in here.
Jim,
B,
you got me.
why you say foul violation? I have said nothing.
Lee Jackson
Nothing.
is
It's
ignoring.
unbelievable what you do. Unbelievable.
And there is Lee Jackson, the woman with whom Peter Graf was having his discussion. Unbelievable, he says, but it seemed rather obvious from the
Kind of believable to me.
exquisite signals that he was giving that there was some kind of communication going on there.
This is one angry man. The interesting thing, the more important thing, is to see how Steffi Graf is going to handle this whole thing.
There is Steffi Graf. She must break to force a tiebreaker.
She looks upset to me. She really does. She's never looked more her age.
Quiet, please.
Claudia Kohde-Kilsch serving for the championship. She's been ready for the rubber room a couple of times. But now she's 3 points away. All. Away.
What a very tight match being played by both players, and it is exhausting to be involved in something like this.
That puff coming out of the mouth of Claudia Kohde-Kilsch. What an emotional ordeal this has been for both players, but especially Kohde-Kilsch. Chances for the championship here. Claudia Kohde-Kilsch had a championship point against her in the 9th game of this final set.
Huge mistake for Graf, I think, was to hit that shot so that Kohde-Kilsch could approach off her backhand side, which is her best shot of all.
Sometimes the greatest victories are those won within. Long. Still championship points. That is one fought off by Graf. Claudia Kohde-Kilsch has really had to fight one within today. A dart down the line, and we go to deuce. 2 championship points fended off by Steffi Graf. And Kohde-Kilsch trudges back. And Graf says, load up another one, I'm ready. At deuce. Points.
The Kohde-Kilsch camp, as we see, unhappy with that one, and it was the pace of Graf's shot that beat Kohde-Kilsch. She was in good position, as she so often is at net, but couldn't control the pace of the ball.
Yeah.
And we go to an ultimate tiebreaker here.
It's the only way this thing could have ended.
6 games all. Third and final set.
And watch Claudia as she misses this.
Graf serves to open.
Graf's father's giving what means when he wants to shoot.
1-0 Graf. There aren't too many matches that you can say, well, they both had their chances to win it. They literally have both had their chances to win it. Graf has fought off 2 championship points. Kohde-Kilsch has fought off 1. Kohde-Kilsch serves at 0-1. As the net cord again bounces in Kohde-Kilsch's favor.
This will be a match decided by inches, Jack. Mere inches.
And synapses. It's been turmoil inside their heads.
Thing is, from this view, that court sure does look pretty big, doesn't it?
But with a racket in your hand, sometimes it looks like a postage stamp on the other side of a cyclone fence.
2-1 Graf. And she has the mini break, although a point against serve in this match has not meant a whole lot. Graf. First to 7 with a margin of 2 wins.
Three to 2 Graf.
Double fault, 4-2 Graf. Players change sides. The code violation on the abusive ball, and Steffi Graf holds her arms aloft.
Yeah, saying, finally, I get tagged, she's got to get tagged. Now, she didn't lose a point because it was only her first warning, but Claudia Kohde-Kilsch, according to Joyce Siegel in the chair and Lee Jackson on patrol, just received some coaching from her camp. This is a hot issue in tennis today.
deuce. It is now 4-3. And Graf gets the serve back.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that. I thought it was because I know that I thought Kohde-Kilsch, she did, as she crossed the net, she looked over to her camp, so I assumed it was for that. Olaf Merkel, the coach in white, and Jürgen Kohde-Kilsch, Claudia's stepfather, watching on. Who knows who's going to take this thing?
Graf. Claudia Kohde-Kilsch gritting her teeth, trying to find some spark in a day which has been full of wet matches. Kohde-Kilsch takes a long look at the line, thinking perhaps it hooked wide, but it is now 6-3 Graf, and 3 championship points in a row coming. Graf penalized a point for a code violation, and his daughter Steffi has won her 2nd straight tournament, the Sunkist WTA Championship for 1986. 6-4, 5-7, 7-6, 7 points to 3 in the tiebreaker. It was not art, but it was interesting tennis. We'll return to Amelia Island right after this.
Again, to tell you all you get by ordering
1986 Sunkist WTA Championships. I'm Jack Edwards along with Mary Carrillo, and the way this match went, first set went to Steffi Graf 6 games to 4 as she was able to break Kohde-Kilsch in the 10th game of that set. Second set was full of errors and breaks. Kohde-Kilsch coming back, breaking and holding to win it at 7-5. And the third went to the tiebreaker where Steffi Graf was able to take it 7 points to 3, and you're looking at your champion of the 1986 Sunkist WTA Championships. This year's Sunkist WTA Championship has been brought to you by the Sunkist family, a family of products whose name means quality. It always has, and it always will. You have our word on it. And by Konicka's Royal Copiers, the tough copiers for tough customers nationwide. And by Michelob Light, super premium taste in a less filling beer. Who says you can't have it all? And by the Weller Corporation, the makers of Wella Mousse and Wella Balsam. Nobody does it better. Thanks for joining us at Amelia Island Plantations, Florida. I'm Jack Edwards for Mary Carrillo, your winner, Steffi Graf. So long, everybody.